You cannot drive from North to South America. Sounds impossible in our hyper-connected world, right? A world where satellites map every inch of the planet, where planes circle the globe in hours, and where highways seem to stretch endlessly across continents. And yet, it's true. 100% true. You could own the toughest car ever built, an off-road monster with tires built for mud, mountains, and mayhem. You could have the best GPS, the strongest spirit, and the world's most epic playlist ready for the ultimate road trip, from the icy edges of Alaska all the way down to the windswept tip of Argentina. You'd cross countries, climates, and cultures. You'd roll through snowy peaks, blazing deserts, bustling cities, and forgotten villages. The kind of journey people dream about. A drive through the heart of two entire continents. But somewhere in Panama, your adventure just stops. No road signs, no asphalt, no detour. Just a wall of green so dense it swallows sunlight. It's not a dead end built by humans. It's one crafted by nature itself. A wild, untamed place called the Darién Gap. A mysterious stretch of land where maps fade, engines fail, and human ambition meets its match. 60 miles of raw, unforgiving jungle that refuses to be conquered. It's where the dream of driving from North to South America collapses, where progress, technology, and even courage seem to pause and take a deep breath before entering nature's domain. Because beyond that point lies a world like no other. A world of swamps that eat machines, rivers that roar without warning, and forests so thick you can hear your own heartbeat louder than your footsteps. The Darién Gap isn't just a gap on the map. It's a challenge, a legend, and a living reminder that not everything on Earth was meant to be crossed. There's no detour, no bridge, no tunnel, no clever shortcut, just one of the planet's last true wild frontiers, the Darién Gap. This is the story of why this 60-mile stretch of jungle still stands between two continents, how it became a global legend, and what it tells us about the fine line between human ambition and nature's untamable power. Imagine this. You start your engine in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, the road stretches endlessly ahead, and your excitement builds with every mile. You drive through Canada's snow-capped mountains, glide across America's long highways, cut through Mexico's deserts, and cruise into Central America's lush green valleys. That's the spirit of the Pan-American Highway, an audacious dream born in the 1920s to connect the Americas from top to bottom. A single road uniting two worlds. But somewhere before the finish line, the map blurs, the road fades, and suddenly, your grand adventure meets a wall of pure wilderness, the Darién Gap. And here's the twist. It's not some forgotten construction project, it's intentional. Because the Darién isn't just another patch of land. It's one of the most dangerous, raw, and impenetrable places left on Earth. This is where the rainforest swallows roads, where rivers turn violent overnight, where mountains melt into swamps, and swamps vanish into forests thicker than imagination. The Darién Gap is where every explorer, every dreamer, and every government plan has been tested, and most have failed. So what makes it so untamable? 60 miles doesn't sound like much, right? You'd think with all our technology, all our machines and mapping drones, carving a road through a mere 60 miles should be easy. But here, it's 60 miles of nature at its wildest, a place where the Earth seems to actively resist human intrusion. The mud here isn't just deep, it's endless. Engineers once dropped heavy metal barrels to test the ground, and those barrels vanished straight down, sinking 16 stories deep without hitting anything solid. The land breathes and shifts beneath your feet. One moment you're walking on firm ground, the next you're knee-deep in a pit of liquid earth. Even heavy machinery, bulldozers, trucks, excavators, sinks like toys in quicksand. Rain falls here like it's trying to erase your presence. Thunder cracks through the mountains, and rivers rise overnight, turning trails into raging torrents. Every step forward is a negotiation with the elements. It's not just untamed, it's alive, unpredictable, and impossibly wild. Rivers morph into raging floods overnight, tearing away anything that stands in their path. Try to build a bridge here, and you'll find nothing stable enough to anchor it to. Even drones, scanning for possible routes, find nothing but mazes, mountains, wetlands, valleys so deep they could swallow an army convoy whole. From May to December, relentless rain turns the entire landscape into a giant swamp, a natural quicksand that eats through machinery. Bulldozers sink, tires vanish, and even the toughest off-roaders get trapped in minutes. But terrain is only half the challenge. The jungle itself is alive and not always friendly. This is a land teeming with venomous snakes, deadly scorpions, crocodiles lurking in mangrove rivers, and jaguars that glide silently through the dense foliage. Mosquitoes buzz in swarms thick enough to block the sun, carrying malaria, dengue, and yellow fever. The air feels heavy, wet, humming, unpredictable. Adventurers from the past, armed with jeeps, rovers, and military-grade gear, have tried to cross it. Some made it, many didn't. Vehicles were abandoned, left behind to rot in the mud, reclaimed by vines and time. Those who returned came back battered, exhausted, and forever changed. And yet the Darién Gap isn't just a tale of explorers, it's also the stage for one of the most dramatic human stories of our time. Because today, this wilderness has become a lifeline for hundreds of thousands of desperate migrants, people fleeing crisis, poverty, or violence, risking everything to cross from South America into Panama in hopes of reaching North America. In 2023 alone, over 500,000 people made that crossing. Families, children, the elderly, all trudging through a jungle that shows no mercy. There are no roads, no phone signal, no safe camps. Criminal gangs control much of the route. People are robbed at machete point, swept away by flash floods, lost to hunger or exhaustion. Children go missing. Women suffer unspeakable violence. By the time survivors reach Panama, many are carried on stretchers, dehydrated, injured, traumatized. For indigenous communities who've lived here for thousands of years, the Embera, the Wunan, the Guna, the Darién isn't a hellscape. It's home. It's sacred. They live in small villages built in harmony with the forest, hunting, farming, and preserving traditions that go back centuries. But even they are feeling the strain. The sudden surge of migrants, illegal logging, and government development plans have disrupted their lands and way of life. Now these tribes have joined hands with conservationists, fighting to protect the jungle from both chainsaws and chaos. The politics of the Darién Gap is just as wild as the land itself. Every few years, someone, an engineer, a president, or a dreamer, claims they've finally found the way to finish the Pan-American Highway. In the 1970s, something big was brewing, a dream so ambitious it could have changed the shape of the Americas forever. U.S. President Richard Nixon wanted to do what no one had ever done before: unite the continents with one unstoppable road. A single ribbon of asphalt connecting Alaska to Argentina, a political, economic, and symbolic bridge meant to showcase unity in the middle of the Cold War. It sounded like progress. It sounded unstoppable. But the deeper planners looked into the Darién, the clearer it became. They weren't facing just another engineering challenge. They were up against a living beast of nature. Environmentalists began to sound the alarm. Cutting through the jungle would be a catastrophe beyond imagination. They warned of ancient rainforests destroyed, rare species wiped out, and delicate ecosystems collapsing under bulldozers. Ranchers panicked too, terrified that hoof-and-mouth disease, long kept out of North America, would finally spread north, devastating millions of cattle. And then came the voices that refused to be ignored, the indigenous communities whose ancestors had lived in the Darién for thousands of years. They rose in protest, saying the jungle wasn't a blank space on a map. It was their home, their identity, their history. They marched, petitioned, and spoke out in global forums. Their message was powerful. Some places aren't meant to be conquered. In the end, the bulldozers never started. The dream road ended where the jungle began. But every few years, that same argument comes crawling back. Engineers sketch tunnels beneath rivers, floating highways over swamps, and mega bridges across valleys. Each plan starts with fanfare and ends in silence, defeated not just by money or politics, but by the sheer, relentless power of the Darién itself. Because here's the truth: You can design around mountains, you can dig through deserts, but you can't outsmart a living, breathing jungle that refuses to be tamed. Today, satellite images still show faint scars, abandoned paths where people once tried to cut a road through. Within months, the jungle took it all back, as if it never happened. And that's part of the Darién's magic. It doesn't just stop roads, it erases them. Yet this wild patch of land isn't just a problem for road builders. It's a biological treasure chest. Scientists say the Darién is one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet. It's home to over 500 bird species, including the majestic harpy eagle, and 1 in 5 plants here can't be found anywhere else. Jaguars, ocelots, bush dogs, howler monkeys, and rare tapirs all roam freely. For biologists, it's a living laboratory. New insects, frogs, and medicinal plants are still being discovered here, some with the potential to cure antibiotic-resistant diseases. In ecological terms, the Darién Gap also plays an invisible yet vital role. It's a natural border that keeps ecosystems balanced. Coyotes, for example, stay in North America. Jaguars dominate the South. This invisible wall maintains evolutionary order. If a road were built, invasive species and animal-borne diseases could spread uncontrollably, threatening food chains that have stayed stable for centuries. It's even been called a natural firewall against pandemics. Hit that subscribe button. Join me for more incredible stories like this, untold histories, impossible places, and human versus nature showdowns that remind us how small we really are. And now I want to hear from you. If you had the chance, would you pave the Darién Gap and complete the Pan-American Highway? Or would you leave it wild forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see where you stand. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are found not at the finish line, but at the edge of what's conquerable.